G'day and welcome to Wine Week. I'm Danny.
And I'm Brad.
And I'm going to kick off this week with a wine that's not exactly cheap. This is the Yabby Lake 2008 Pinot Noir. Now when I say not exactly cheap, just a shade under the $60 mark in most shops. So look, it's not an everyday wine for most people. If it's an everyday wine for you, good luck to you. You're obviously doing well in whatever you're doing, but as a wine that's not an everyday wine, it's got to be exceptional, and this is exceptional. And the 08 might well be the finest of the vintages today. There's not a huge heritage here with Yabby Lake, let's face it. It's not a winery that's been around for 150 years like some of the guys in the Barossa, but remarkably good stuff. They know what they're doing with Pinot Noir and Chardonnay specifically, and this, the marquee Pinot that they do, absolutely gorgeous. There are some things that an expensive Pinot should do. That is, it should be light enough to not clog you down, but enough guts and determination in there that it's not just a mouthful of cordial. This absolutely beautiful in that regard. And look, I must say, I've got half a dozen of them laying down because I think this will go for the next 5 to 10 years, and there aren't a world of Pinots that can actually do that. So, if you're like me, you love a Pinot, you love a great wine, and you can find a couple of extra dollars this week or next, make sure you grab one of the Yabby Lake 08 Pinot Noirs, because they will be rippers now and next week.
Yeah, we've actually featured a few Mornington Penninsula Pinots over the last year or so, and really in top form down there.
They certainly are.
Now, something else that we've also featured a little bit of, yes, we'll put our hands up, a few Clare Valley Rieslings, and this is another one. Funnily enough, if you go back through the archives of Wine Week, you'll find in the very first episode, about 3.5 years ago, you'll find this one. Featured on our first show, it's the Jim Barry Watervale Riesling. Now, the reason it featured on our first show is because it ticks all the boxes for us. This is a great wine. It does everything right. It's lemony, limey, crisp, good finish, but it's also an absolute bargain. Now, you'll actually walk into many of the big retailers and you'll often find this discounted sub $15, which is actually extraordinary given the quality of the wine here. Jim Barry in the Clare Valley, the name is synonymous with producing sensational Rieslings. There are a few others in the portfolio, but this, their stock standard entry Riesling, the quality price ratio you're getting here is just fantastic. And look, we do love a Riesling, we'll admit that. But for those people who haven't yet jumped on the Riesling bandwagon, perhaps this is the one to try, because it's not expensive. The 2009 vintage here is absolutely sensational. So if you're looking for something to branch out in your white wine drinking habits, then you could do a hell of a lot worse than checking out this Jim Barry. And it will also go a few years in the cellar too.
It certainly would, and 4 years ago that was a great drop. 4 years ago our first episode wasn't that great, we don't think.
Yes, don't actually go back and look at that first episode.
Oh, we were terrible, I tell you. The wine wasn't the wine, still great today. Anyhow, to round things off, it is bitterly cold in Melbourne at the moment. I think I was reading on the Twitter this morning, one of my friends local to me was saying the apparent temperature was -2 degrees. That is damn cold. And what are you going to do when it's cold? Well, what you need is a lovely fortified to finish off the day. And the Stanton Killeen Muscat, the classic Rutherglen Muscat, oh, you could do a hell of a lot worse than a bottle of this. The big format bottle, we don't see a lot of the larger format bottles when it comes to stickies these days, so it's good value for money, around about $30 odd, but do compare that. You'll see a lot of wines of the same sort of ilk that'll be $20 odd, that'll be half bottles. So you're getting good amounts of sticky here. And look, me, I like a big bottle of the sticky because I have no problems going through something completely if it's good, and this is ripper. Now, Chris Killeen's passed on. They will still be feeling the effects of no longer having Chris doing the winemaking there, but this is 12 average age, years old content inside this, so you're getting Chris's beautiful work inside this bottle. Just gorgeous. A Rutherglen Muscat is just so beautiful. Match it together with, say, some muscadel grapes, some dark chocolate, or just on its own to finish a great meal. Really, I'm just big raps for Rutherglen Fortifieds, and this is one that you must have a go at because just absolutely beautiful. So follow the lead, go for it.
Yeah, look, I dare say it won't be the last Rutherglen fortified we look at this winter. So.
I would think not. Anyhow, that's it for this week on Wine Week. We'll see you all again next week.
See you next week.